We going downtown. Welcome to the Hype, episode 351. We're going to talk about the downtown controversy today on today's show. We're going to recap the National. We're going to talk about Twinkies. We're going to talk about Hugh Hefner's pills. We've got lots of stuff to talk about today, man. It's going to be a great show. The hobby just gives us all this tidbits of goodness, juicy goodness to talk about on the Hype, guys. And we're live. We're live on Mojobreak Media. So if you're listening to the audio podcast and you want to join in on the conversation, join us at Mojobreak Media every Wednesday at 3 p.m. live. And we'll get this stuff going. We'll talk about some stuff and some things. I must say, as we get into the national talk, the size of the crowd, we could have had it in Name Your Town Anywhere. The hobby is alive. You can take that thing anywhere. Take that thing anywhere. It doesn't matter if it's in a crappy town. People will show up. It doesn't matter if you don't have cell phone availability for the entire show to check comps. It doesn't matter if it takes 35, 40 minutes to catch an Uber. It doesn't matter. People still will show up. And that just shows you that the hobby is alive and thriving, even after the pandy. People are still there, spending their money. They can't even check comps. They're probably paying 10 times over comps. They couldn't get internet. Couldn't go live on Instagram. Airbnb situation, not great. But we made it. We made it. We're here. How did you guys like it, C-Rad? How was it out there in Cleveland?
You want me to go first? I kind of feel like I have a long thoughts on the National. The basic one thing I want to get out is that the show itself, despite some of the stuff you mentioned, and I was with the service wasn't great. Although the guy I was hanging out with, he was like checking his phone every single time we were stopping at the table, so it was working. It was working for some folks. The show itself was as good as the show that I've been to Chicago 3 times. So the show and the venue itself, I mean, the setups, all the dealers, the vendors, huge show. Obviously, a lot of people, all the companies you expected were there. Huge presence from a lot of them. There was this huge, amazing, gigantic, whatnot video wall that looked like you were in Vegas. Yeah. That was amazing. So in terms of the show experience, I feel like you didn't miss a step if you gone to any of the other nationals in Chicago. So the show itself is great. Now, with that said, obviously Cleveland is not going to be. There's not going to be as much to do as depending on where you're staying. There's not a lot of hotels like in Chicago. Chicago is really like, we say it all the time. Every single year we mention it. There's so much more to do. You're way closer in terms of there's a lot of hotels around the convention. So if you were there for just the show, you probably had a great time. But in terms of what to do after the show, not as much to do in Cleveland as Chicago, right? Yeah. And I've never been to Atlantic City, so I can't judge how it is compared to Atlantic City. But I'll say overall, good show. There's obviously things to complain about every single year with the National in terms of the setups and what could be better. Like last year, remember it was extremely hot. Man, it was the air conditioning was not working. That's what people were complaining about. The lines for the bathrooms and the food, as always, is something I feel like people bring up every single year. Doesn't matter where you are. So,
yeah, and no disrespect to my Cleveland natives that I hung out with, and it's a fine town to live in, but to have a show. It's bronze for me now. It's bronze. I've moved up Atlantic City to 2.
Wow.
Yeah, I have.
Whoa.
I have. At least I can use the bathroom.
Okay. I mean, that's kind of a deal breaker if bathrooms is a problem. Frankly.
I'm not gonna disagree with Doug where Atlantic City may have moved up on the podium, and you can put that silver medal around the fine city of Atlantic City.
Wow.
First thing, another VCR convention in the books. It was what it was.
Yeah.
I mean, every year. It's kind of it's good to see industry friends. Especially people that we don't see on a regular basis. It's good to see everybody, succeeding and people buying cards at their booth and selling cards at their booth and all that good stuff. Good to see the Group Break Pavilion was hopping. Actually, honestly, walking in, I didn't love where. I'm still glad we didn't set up there because walking in, the group break pavilion was off to the left and in the far, far, far back. But because there were so many people there, they did have a fair amount of traffic walking through just because like there was traffic no matter where you went.
Mm-hmm.
It was probably the busiest Thursday I've ever seen. Thursday actually felt busier as far as foot traffic than Friday and Saturday.
It did.
But yeah, I mean, all the manufacturers did a great job. I mean, we did our pretty standard networking, and we're usually filled with like doing meetings anyway, so we were able to do that. They got to figure out the bathroom situation. It was like going to a concert show, like a concert, like a country concert festival or something like that, and it was like reversed. Usually there's like a line for the women's room that's like 150 deep, but not at a national. It was the opposite.
Oh, yeah.
You can probably women's.
Wait, there's more guys and girls?
The ratio is truly about 7,000 to 1. I don't think that's far off, guys.
No.
I never had I was there a couple days. I never had to actually use the restroom while we were there in the venue. Like
Because you're busy. You're busy sweating everything out.
What was the? I mean, the air conditioning. Maybe not the breaker pavilion, but the main hall. It was nice in there. It was really. It felt really nice.
It was weird. There was pockets where you would walk by and you would just have massive airflow.
Like
Then you would go to other areas and it was like a sauna.
Yeah, like I didn't feel the heat like I did in Chicago last year. I would say walking through the convention. So what was the bathroom situation like? 'Cause I didn't have to use the restroom. So what was bad about it?
The bathroom, from what I heard, was because we were fortunate, at least, to go down underneath the venue where the Fanatics were set up. We were able to like go to the restroom down there
For the first day.
And then that was easy. There's nobody down there. The Gen Pop bathroom, it was also downstairs, but apparently it was about a 45-minute wait for the men's room.
Oh my God.
There was also the food. They had food trucks there, which is amazing.
That's good.
But there was also, it looked like 45-minute lines for each food truck.
Yeah, the industry loves cards and they love food.
Dude, you know what I'm starting to sense here? I sense that you guys were there on the busiest days of the convention. I came in on a Friday, so I was there. I got to see the show on a Saturday and a Sunday, and my experience is different. Like the lines for the food and the drinks weren't that long. There's probably not as many people as Thursday.
A lot of
you guys
people
were
did what we
saying.
did and flew out on Sunday.
I was gonna say Saturday though should have been a big day.
Saturday, yeah, like it was busy, no doubt. It's a weekend. Everybody there probably was a lot of people that walked through that door on a Saturday. But I feel like I had the opposite experience of you guys.
There was a lack of respect of personal space.
Well, you know,
I don't know how many times I got shoulder checked or bumped into.
Ooh,
just.
Didn't experience that either.
Oh well, maybe that's my face.
yeah,
maybe they're like, I don't. I
was
like
gonna
this
say,
guy.
could it have been maybe on Saturday they were anticipating more, so they staffed it more on Saturday?
Well,
but it doesn't sound like that was
the aisles
case.
didn't get any wider.
No.
Now I would
true.
say Sunday. You guys know a lot of people left. You guys left early in the morning. There's still obviously a fair amount of people, but yeah, Sunday was there was space in the parking lot. Like me and Chris, we got in there, we pulled right up. You know,
got right in.
I do got to say, if one good thing that I will say, because I know a lot of times I'm down or down over here, getting in that place was super easy. You have your ticket.
You mean once you have your ticket? Yeah.
Yeah, you
Once
have your
you're walking
ticket.
in
You have your
the door.
ticket. You walk in. They scan it. You go to another person. They wristband you up, and then you just basically walk through the door.
Yeah.
That was
good.
that experience was awesome.
That was I give it a 10. That was a 10 on that experience.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dave says a bunch of guys going in the bushes. Quite possible.
Probably.
Look, possible.
I'm
but
not gonna lie.
I tried to find. There was
Yeah.
an outhouse outside. So me and Dan didn't want to wait for a 45-minute Uber. So we're gonna go walk 0.8 miles to go get some food one day. And I was like, I think there's an outhouse outside. There was, but it happened to be closed.
It was closed because I think it had been overrun.
Yeah.
I think it had been.
Probably
I think,
not
it,
a
I,
sight
think it
you wanna
was.
see.
I think it was at, I believe, capacity.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
it was
Spilling
at
over a little
capacity.
bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, some of the positives of the show. I mean, obviously, if you're walking around there and you're worried about this hobby dying, that's not the case. I mean, some of these booths. I mean, eBay. I got to give credit to eBay Live. Their setup was great. They had Ricky Henderson. They had Lendell White and Chris Johnson.
Awesome setup.
They had a really nice setup at their booth. All the manufacturers had nice looking booths. Fanatics, Tops with their exchange program.
Oh, awesome.
Golden had a great booth.
Golden had a great booth. Tag doing the custom cards, which I happened to get. You can check my Instagram on those. And also check out our video. We did a video of us walking through the National. You can find it on Mojobreak Media with Packs Wide Open. So check that out.
It rules.
And it kind of gives you like a different way of doing a walkthrough of the National. So, I mean, other than that, I think the Panini party was great from a performance. They had 50 Cent. We were front row. That was cool, to see 50
Amazing.
Cent. Experience that, but they had a pretty small room, so it was pretty cramped in there. Overall, I would say, 50 Cent makes it like a 9, but I think if they didn't have 50 Cent, it'd probably be like a 4.
I don't know if they had a small room or they had just more people who were in the VIP. Like we're at the VIP party.
I know, it felt
because I would say like past years. I mean, there's times where I felt like there was like 150, 200. There might have been 500 or 600 people in there.
Last year's
Maybe
venue
1,000.
was
Huge.
massive.
It didn't even seem like it was filled up.
No, but I mean, it was a ton of people there. But yeah, it was like half of the venue was like basically empty, like right at the front when you entered the entire night because there was just so much room in there.
Not this one.
Not this one though.
This one. So I was up there with these guys in the front, and about I don't know 3 or 4 songs into it, I was like, I need to go in the back and just chill out. So I went in the back, and it was one of those things when you go to a concert and you're walking through people. You're like, I don't know if this is ever going to end. And then I would say I walked probably about, I don't know, like 30 yards before I can actually get out into the open where I wasn't like like crawling through people.
Yeah, it was rocking in there, dude. Loved it.
It was.
I'm
gonna date myself as well, and I've gone to metal concerts my whole life. It's a little loud. It's a little loud in there.
What?
It's a little loud.
Should have provided some earplugs.
They had the bass. I mean, the system was really, really good, and the subs were kicking. It was too much for that room, and it was just a rectangle room. It was too much.
From the front, you don't really notice how I felt like the sound was perfect from the front.
Oh.
What do you think, Doug, from the front?
It sounded good in the front.
Yeah.
I mean, but if you wanted to hold a conversation, you ain't having that.
No.
You're in the front at that concert. You're not there to have a conversation. You're there to dance. You're there to sing along. You're there to have a good time.
Oh, yeah, singing every song.
And at the end of the show, 50 Cent did point out the overwhelming amount of males in the room. So, which is no surprise, but yeah.
Well, yeah, welcome.
Because he was saying that his music is normally, any emerging hip hop artist, makes their, college. He's like, because people in college are partying, all day, all night. So their soundtracks or whatever's popular on the radio. So he's like, you might meet up with a girl and hook up, and then that's the soundtrack of your night. And, he kind of alluded to there's probably not going to be a lot of soundtracks to the night here. So, was his way of saying that. So, I was surprised that Panini got 50 Cent. He was performing later on that night somewhere else. So maybe it was a nice little come up for him to be able to play that. And he showed up. He was sweating. He was sweating out there. He was. He gave it his all.
As far as like a notable artist, it probably is the most notable artist that I've ever seen.
Panini's ever gone.
They keep up in any
VIP party. I mean, that 50 Cent is known from. I mean, everybody knows who that is. Like even if you're not
still relevant.
Even if you're not like a hip hop fan, like I wouldn't call myself a hip hop fan.
You put on In the Club, everybody knows.
I knew a lot of songs.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it was a lot of songs where I'm like, I didn't know he does that.
Do you
jam.
think when Ruben got the news it was 50 Cent, he's like, man, like everybody else, like he's got Tom Brady going to the show, he's got Peyton Manning, he's got Eli Manning, he's got all these stars coming to Fanatics Fest.
But he can like You can just bring like Jay-Z.
Well, I was
yes.
going to say, this is the one thing, though, where I think Panini might have an upper hand right here, is that they can be like, we brought out Diplo last year with Big Boy. This year we got 50 Cent. And Michael Rubin's like, here's Travis Scott for the 700th time at this event.
Does Panini-
Every single time. Now, I'm not saying Travis Scott is not notable, but it's like, can you get somebody else?
But Panini,
Please, I'm begging you.
obviously, they're putting a value on getting a musical artist to their event, which I think is an amazing idea. They have to go bigger next year than 50 Cent. So,
Right.
like, who is that? Is that Eminem? Can they get Eminem?
No.
Is Eminem?
I don't
Eminem.
think Eminem does that type of stuff, frankly.
I mean, it's going to be in Chicago, Detroit,
Right.
not super far away,
no.
right?
Which, by the way, that
No, they're
leads-
gonna get the band Chicago.
Yeah, there you go.
I
That's how
would-
you up the ante.
I would love that. Like,
Look, it would play well with the crowd. Let's be honest with the age
I would-
demographics. It
I
probably
would
play
love.
pretty well.
I would love for them to get like a band like that. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
But you know what was funny?
Okay.
I mean, and no disrespect to the legendary Rev Run, who is,
A
one of the
legend.
founders of hip hop. But, 50 did play first, right? 50 played first, packed house. Everybody was there watching. Rev Run, yeah, you kind of seen the 50-plus-year-olds kind of.
But he was
They
out
were
there.
up there. They
No,
were-
Top Shelf says Top Shelf was like, forget 50 Cent. I was loving the Rev Run set.
But he was out there to literally spin records and DJ for.
So he
for
didn't
the rest
even
of the
really
night.
perform.
No, he did. He did like walk this way. He did his
Okay,
verses.
he did a
It-
couple.
It was a la at the NFT Little
Right.
John scenario where he's playing songs like.
Man.
I mean, he was even playing like Earth,
Well, it's
Wind, and
great-
Fire and
yeah.
stuff like that. He was
DMC has
DJing 'em.
been at these events, by the way. I've seen him at multiple. He's been on the floor at some of these events. I mean, I don't know how often they're doing like reunions. That'd probably be a lot more expensive to get both of them on the same stage, but it'd be kind of cool.
Oh, and I don't know if this was confirmed and if somebody was trolling me and whatnot. I was on Whatnot on Monday ripping some silver packs. And they were like, yeah, a couple of the Creed guys were walking around the national floor. They said Mark Tremonti. And I'm like, I think you're trolling me. And they're like, no, Mark Tremonti was walking around the national floor. And I'm like,
There's zero-
did we miss an opportunity?
No. Well, I don't even know what we would have done.
Creed just performed on Good Morning America like 2 weeks ago, by the way. I'm not kidding.
No,
That's not a troll.
they're having their.
They're having a moment.
They're
again.
having their moment.
Yeah.
Like Creed and their tour that they're on right now is selling out every venue.
Yeah.
Well, let me see what
Thank
they
goodness
maybe,
for the
maybe
Texas
they, maybe
Rangers.
they
But
were there.
I-
But
back on the map.
I really don't think. I mean,
That'd be weird.
that. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, to get them in the video, that would have been.
Well, that would have been
that would've
legendary.
yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, if I could have had a dueling guitar solo with Mark Tremonti, that would have been
What a
it.
dream.
That would have been it.
I gotta ask you guys because you guys were there, and we compare it to Chicago last year and all that. I believe I saw some because I know Chicago next year, but I did see some reports saying Chicago in the next 3 years.
Yes.
Now, so
Yes.
that's confirmed. Chicago is the next 3 years.
Looking forward to it.
Are we at a point where this is just the national in Chicago every year?
Yes.
Could be.
Is that
Yeah.
what it should be?
Lock it down.
It could be, yeah.
Lock it down.
I would love it if they
I love
went
that.
out of the way. And did other
Honestly, okay, yeah, I forgot to say this. I have lost all faith in the company Airbnb. Lost all faith.
stuff. Oof, bad. Yeah, it didn't sound like a great experience.
Just done. Like it just. I've never had a good experience. Never been a part of a good experience.
Really?
I mean,
Not one.
it just kind of was like a little bait and switch in the place. I mean,
That's all you got to say. Like
but it does fall back on me for the one bathroom scenario. That was on me. I should have read that part.
Yeah.
You know, that one made it a little tough. I mean, we worked it out.
Yeah.
I mean, we worked it out. We made it happen.
I'd
You know,
say
we
if
had
you're
a-
we
like-
had to do a
Not
pretty,
so bad with guys, but I imagine if you had women in your party, it'd have
Oh,
been
God.
a disaster
right.
to have one bathroom.
or
Oh,
if you would had one more person.
5
Yeah.
people, one
I feel
bathroom.
like
That's tough.
guys, we could thug it out. It's like, we can figure it out. One bathroom, it works.
We were all like we're running a little bit late sometimes.
yeah.
Because we had to take turns.
Everyone's
Yeah.
got to take a shower. Everybody's got to do their thing. Everyone's
Like we
got to
had
get
to,
done.
but we had to like prepare for that ahead of time. We're like, okay, like we need to get back to the Airbnb and have about like an hour to an hour and 25 minutes so everybody can get situated.
Yeah.
Where
Yeah.
we could have done like that in 25 minutes if we would have had multiple bathrooms. But it's also just not like nothing on Airbnb is as advertised. I mean, the pictures that they take, you're just like, oh, this place looks amazing. You get there, you're like,
Yeah.
where, like, what staging did you guys do to make this happen? Because
AI now, man.
But it is what it is.
I think the quality has certainly fallen off because I've rented a few places from Airbnb where I've been thrilled with it, but in the last year or so, yeah, you're right. Like, and it's more for like smaller, like, well, I need a place to stay in a place that doesn't have a lot of hotels nearby. Those ones are always the toughest because, yeah, they do a good job of staging the houses. And you're like, well, the price is pretty decent. And then you get there, and you're like, wow, this is.
But the price wasn't pretty decent.
Oh well.
Well, I mean, it was cheaper than getting two rooms for
We paid
4 days.
3 months worth of mortgage.
Right.
And
Well, for
one-
what their area was. But I got to say, gas was $3 out there. I mean, I wish I could have brought some home.
David also saying, yeah, that's right. There have been a lot of houses recently that have been like reported hidden camera
Yep,
situations.
our Uber driver told us that.
Yeah,
That's been an issue lately. It's not always, but it's there's been some that have
they
been
wouldn't have caught
spotted.
anything very
I
exciting.
know. I made sure. I went up to every mirror and gave him the full Doug. You know what I'm saying? I gave him the full Doug just
I
to
gotta
make
say,
it worth their while.
the area itself was good. I was able to get my run in. There was no gym, but I just thugged it out and just ran the streets of where we were at. The sidewalks were tough. Like you had like the tree roots were coming out.
Yeah.
Which does not make it good for running. I was about ready. I can't believe I didn't roll an ankle.
It's crazy that I think we have basically now in the last couple of years have had, as far as we know, quite possibly the last national in Atlantic City and the last national in Cleveland. I just don't see a scenario where it goes. back.
I would love to have it in downtown Atlanta.
That's the one that makes so much sense.
I've been to Atlanta a couple times. The downtown Atlanta area is very similar to the Rosemont area because there's so many hotels, there's so many restaurants,
Coke Museum?
the Coke Museum,
Lots of stuff to do.
Coca-Cola Museum.
What about downtown Dallas?
Dallas? I mean,
I wouldn't have an issue with downtown Dallas.
I'm surprised that Texas has not. I mean, I know they have the Dallas Card Show. That's a big deal. But I am like, I wouldn't be shocked. Although Texas in the middle of summer is a whole other ballgame.
Vegas, I mean, Dave's right.
Yeah, Vegas is the
spot.
Yeah.
But see, the problem is the people that are on the board of the National are picking the cheapest locations for them to make the most money.
Vegas
And
notoriously
Vegas
expensive.
is not going to be. I mean, same thing with California.
Vegas, you're not going to get any kickbacks from, like, unless it's a huge convention, which our industry isn't going to get a half a million to 1 million people into the city for that one convention.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to, before we move into downtown, because we're going to get fired up.
Are we going to call the Uber and
call the Uber, get to downtown? I do got to say that the silver packs, the prices of the silver packs are blowing my mind. So I did about $7,000 in sales on Monday in 2.5 hours on Whatnot of silver packs, and people were saying I was the greatest deal on the planet at $35 a pack, and people were selling for like $65 a pack, and I'm like, they're coming down, but I mean, really, what you're chasing in there is Caitlin Clark does have her first Indiana Fever rated rookies and paralleled versions. Don't think she has any autos that I've seen, and of course Wemby. Beyond that, you do have the two of the football guys because they didn't even print base cards of Drake May. Caleb or who's the other one? Jaden Daniels. So you're getting J.J. McCarthy and the Vikings guy. Who's the Vikings? Penix.
Yep.
You're getting those. So that was another extra added value.
Falcons, you mean? Yeah.
Vikings
sorry.
is McCarthy.
So Vikings and Falcons were the two guys that were in there. So that was cool. I mean, autos, I was getting about 2. So I did 200 pack sleeves, and I got 2 autos in each one. So no relics at all. So I was like, man, this is crazy. And then more people wanted to buy them at $2,800 for the whole box, and I'm like, maybe I'm selling. Maybe I'm not selling them high enough.
Those used to be $6 to $8 a piece.
Yeah,
I remember I bought some off of eBay last year for, I think it was about $30. Same thing, $30 last year.
Yeah, and the golds have not hit anybody's shelves yet. I have asked the distributors, so the gold packs normally.
The golds are gonna go crazy, dude.
I want to say they should land. They should land sometime next week.
All right. Hopefully, we have some to bring to the Fanatics Fest to have those for sale for people.
Jesus, those are gonna go crazy. If you're
That's
telling
what
me
I'm
the
thinking.
silver
Yeah,
is like going crazy.
It's gonna be close. We may have to have somebody here overnight them to us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, to get him. Yeah. So.
You know what? One more thing I want to mention before we move on from the national. It's kind of as I had a pretty good experience in Cleveland. Obviously, I do prefer the Chicago show always 100%, like everybody else. I want to say that the biggest takeaway for me again this year specifically is the reason we even go to these shows, these big conventions. It's obviously to network, to meet up with hobby friends, and like for me the best experience was still like meeting all of our customers.
Yep.
Right. So. Shout out to Lane Nissan, who's a longtime customer of ours. He runs 130 Point now, which blew my mind. Blew my mind that he was Australian as well. He's been a long customer of ours, and to finally meet him was awesome. And then all the other people we met, G Mancini and his wife Jessica, obviously
Karaoke King,
Christopher Woods, who obviously also a longtime customer of ours since 2017.
Jeremy.
He was the one that Jeremy. Chris was the one that took me around. Drove me around, picked me up. We hung out at the National for the entire day on Sunday. He took me to Ohio Pie, which is one bite. You know the rules. It's probably like 8.5 out of 10 on the pizza scale.
Okay, relax. We're like about ready to head to New York over here.
Yeah, but New York is like 9-something, So
I actually found John's on Bleecker is
right next to Bleecker.
Yes,
Trading,
but it's also
A lot of good stuff.
It's
in
like
that area.
it's 3 miles away from the Javits Center.
Nice.
So
we there.
That's where we got.
We're there.
bro.
But yeah, that
pizza
like, dude,
heaven.
just and Sheem. I met Sheem and her husband at the actual Panini party. Like everybody that came up to me, Ryan S, who runs Better, I think Gem Rate, where they I forget the exact company name, but he aggregates all of the gems that go through all the companies. He provides those scores for all the big companies, that data, anyways. Ryan's, just sitting around talking to people for like 30 minutes to an hour. Like that was the best part of the experience for me. So shout out to all you guys that came up to me at the show.
Shout out to Brandon and Tim from Stadium Unpacked as well. They got us on a little podcast, impromptu podcast, and a lot of our industry friends. I mean, we got to do something with Gary V. So thank you, Gary, for allowing us to do that. And Alex Giamo got in the video. We were able to talk with her and see what she was up to for the National. Darren Ravel jumped in the video for a minute at the National and was part of with cards with packs wide open. So
all our dudes from
Skybox, Pull Wax was in the video. It was good networking with a lot of those guys and seeing what they're up to. Kevin O'Neill now with Leaf, catching up with him, Anthony Devine. So, that's the great part about it is seeing people once a year and being able to catch up on their family life and stuff. And actually, the industry is getting a little slimmer. So, I mean, people are losing weight out there, which is good. Which is, I think, what we're going to kick off this month, guys, and be watching this on social. Cards for Calories. So we're gonna get healthy. We're gonna promote healthy living with healthy eating and working out, and we're gonna give some cards away for that. So look out for that on socials as we kick that off. But let's get into this downtown.
We could probably workshop that title though, because cards for calories seems like it's opposite. Like we're like eating.
The more you eat,
the more calories you intake, the more cards we're gonna give you.
Yeah. So we're gonna do like the.
So we got to figure out how it's the opposite.
The Heart Attack Hotel,
like
Heart Attack Grill,
knock out calories and rip packs.
And I don't know if we can test for Ozempic. So that's the only other thing I'll throw into the mix. Hey, whatever you got to do.
Whatever you got to do. I mean,
I
want to see people's treadmills and see like their score, and I want to say like that's awesome. I want to see you on a bike ride. We're gonna do some contests for that.
You can also just walk around the block, man.
Take a nice stroll.
Take a nice stroll.
Eat
little
a salad instead of.
I thought you were gonna say eat a sandwich. I'm all well. I mean that's kind of healthy.
Depends on the sandwich.
Yeah, I mean,
like a big Italian sub is probably not a great call,
but delicious.
I mean, of course. You guys are gonna be in New York. It's gonna be tough. You're going to be in New York where it is literally the best food you can find
I'm eating pizza every single day.
Exactly. You're going to have the best pizza.
From the 14th to the 18th, we're not doing cards for calories there.
But you're also going to be walking.
No, we are doing cards for calories. We're going to flip it for those 4 days.
It will.
And it's however many calories you can consume.
Yes.
Is how you're going to win.
Absolutely.
But if you're sticking to it, it should kind of balance itself out.
There will be a lot of walking in New York, though. So it'll balance out.
Apparently, that's the only way you get around.
It's the only way. Take the subway. Take the walk around. It's really,
Take the subway.
It's reliable.
To Subway.
You could. I mean,
Get a
boy, if you're
get a
eating
Subway.
Say hi to Jared.
if you're in if you're eating Subway in New York, something has gone terribly wrong.
On the Subway.
On the Subway.
So, yep, and that's going to be the litmus. For the last thing I say of the National before we get into the downtowns is what's Fanatics Fest going to be? What's the buzz going to be after the show? Was Fanatics Fest better than the National? Is this going to set the bar for shows going forward? So we will be reporting out there and providing social media content at the show as well. But if you haven't caught wind of what's happening with Optic first off the line football. So that started getting into breakers' hands on Monday, Tuesday. People have been ripping it. We're sitting on Wednesday. The actual release of the hobby release is this Friday. So we haven't seen a hobby box opened yet. But the first off the line is setting the world on fire. Of course, it started with Backyard and, the conspiracy theories of juice cases. So typically a downtown is one per case, right? Am I right? One per case in Optic. You get one case. It's a case hit. You get one per case, whether it be the base version, the Pandora version, the gold vinyl, whatever, all the different parallels. These people are getting 25 downtowns in a case. So on an average of 2 per box. I watched Little Pullman today, and he had boxes with 3. He had boxes with none out of the same case. So big conspiracy going on. Is it, and I want to hear from you guys in the chat. Is this going to be the norm in hobby? Are we going to get 3 in a box in hobby? Did they mess up and do a quality control issue where they just completely messed up on the run? Did they send breakers juice cases? What is the answer? Because now people are worried about the values of their downtowns. So, we will not have complete answers until Friday when we see what the downtown ratio is.
I can give you my theory.
What's your theory?
All right. So first off, they have the regular downtowns. They have the international downtowns, and they have the Super Bowl downtowns. All right. You also go back on previous sell sheets. Let's go back to 2021 and 2022. On the sell sheet specifically, it says look for ultra rare downtowns. If you look at the sell sheet this year, it says look for inserts like downtowns. So it doesn't have that ultra rare in front of it. They also have, I don't know if they've done Super Bowl variations and international variations before.
They did Super Bowl last year, not international.
So yeah, they have an international. So obviously there's
Expanded
a lot.
There's
more
essentially 3 different downtown sets.
Okay, so if you expanded it by 3 times,
But they've always had the Super Bowl.
No, they just added the Super Bowl within the last couple of years.
So
I'm not saying it's not the first year, though.
3 different sets totaling 40 total cards is what you're looking at.
yeah. So they obviously made more. So what if they could print, as long as they're not numbered, they can print as many as they want.
Right.
And the spreadsheet doesn't say ultra rare downtown anymore. It just says insert downtown. What if this is just a regular insert now, and you are getting 2 or 3 now? The premium is going to be on the numbered ones.
Obviously, yeah.
That's where the premium is going to be.
But they're getting a lot of numbered ones in these cases. A lot of numbered ones.
Yeah.
Well, you also have a lot larger opportunity just based on the subjects that you can get now.
Well, how many subjects are there?
40.
40. 40 subjects.
Is there 40 subjects in international? 40 subjects?
No. So there's 20. So that's combined all 3. 10 downtown Super Bowls, 10 international, and 20 traditional downtowns.
Okay, so 40, and I would say the original. I think they doubled it. I think you'd have like 20 total subjects for downtowns.
Right.
Maybe or less.
So you have Black Pandora's numbered to 25, Gold numbered to 10, Gold Vinyl 1 of 1, and White Sparkle 1 of 1s.
Which won't be in.
And that's for all 4. That's the
Will
same
White
for all
Sparkle
of those.
be in any
White
of these?
Sparkle.
No,
it'll
be in this White Sparkle pack.
White Sparkle packs.
So yeah, so we won't even see those.
If I don't think it's a quality control issue, I think we are going. And this is not a good thing, but I think we're going to see sometimes 2 or 3 downtowns fall in every box.
I don't know. I think it's
you got to add value somehow. You don't have the autographs of the top rookies, and maybe this is how you do it.
I'm looking too at these pictures, some of these pictures, and there is a breakdown Both I saw originally at Watch the Breaks, Ivan put up kind of collecting from a Reddit thread, the football card Reddit thread that's like what is happening right now, collecting the numbers of how many people are hitting these or how many are being pulled. Like we said, we're averaging 25. In some cases, it's more than that. Some cases, it's a little less than that. Judging by the pictures, too, you're seeing 4 to 5 of the numbered to 25s being pulled. 2 golds, numbered to 10 being pulled, and then it could be 2 to 3 of those. So in cases where it's a 1 of 1,
so
it's
if
2.
all of the downtowns did go into the first off the line, Panini probably has to address this at some point.
Yes, which they have said nothing's in.
And it is going to be ouch, bro, for anybody who has the regular hobby. Because you're probably not going.
Do you just send your cases back at that point? Because, a lot of these other breakers and shops aren't in the position to try to sell this product at what they paid for with their customer base, knowing that they're never going to hit it downtown.
Well, then the product is absolutely going to tank, and everybody who purchased it at close to market value is going to take an absolute bath.
Yeah.
We're gonna know very soon.
We're gonna know. We're gonna know soon. We're gonna know in a couple days.
Yeah.
It's very possible they just put all the downtowns in there.
I like Dan's idea. I like Dan's theory.
My theory is a lot more positive, and I don't usually.
No, you're right.
I don't usually go positive, but it's gonna be if they basically have to come out and they're like, sorry, all the downtowns were put in the very limited print run of first off the line. Sorry, my bad. There's going to be an uproar for,
and it kind of feels like you know what? I can't think of anything else to say. I know it sounds strong, but it kind of feels like a death sentence there, where it's like people want to find any excuse to punch down on Panini right now.
Well,
and this is the case.
Yeah, this is
bad.
This would actually go down as one of the biggest mess ups in pack out history.
And they need a win so bad, and this would just be. Yes, catastrophic.
It'd be an L.
I mean, this is my perspective on the whole situation. Once again, don't have any insider information on this, but we know the facts. We know that Optic retail blasters have been in the market for about 2 months, right? 2-3 months.
Yep,
it's been a long time.
And you can get downtowns from those too.
Not. They haven't been coming out though. They haven't been.
Wonder why.
Well, I mean, maybe. I don't know. Well,
I mean, it is harder to hit in retail anyway. But my perspective is Panini was supposed to have 10 releases in the month of July. They wound up having 2 because of printing issues, printer being too busy to fulfill orders. Also, if you guys didn't know, I'm sure this is public knowledge, the printer is owned by Fanatics. So the printer that is printing Panini products is owned by Fanatics. But they have a contract for Panini, so they have to at least fulfill what is on that docket of contract. And frankly, they're making money off of that too, so why not? But I think this was a rush job. If you've watched packouts, these aren't hand-packed when they're packs like this. There is a feeding machine that feeds a certain type of card, whether it be base card. There's another feeding machine that feeds the numbered parallels and the autographs. And then there's another feeding machine that has the downtowns. Is it possible that they didn't understand who was doing it? Maybe it's a new person because they're so far behind. They've gotten rid of, I've heard allegedly that they've gotten rid of a lot of senior people because they just can't work under the environment that's happening now over there. Maybe it was a new person, didn't know that the downtowns needed to be 1 per, and first off the line is first made. That's why it's called first off the line. Maybe they looked at it like a My House insert and they just all went in this run.
I hope
that could be absolutely
I get
true
your,
as well.
I get your theory, Doug.
I like both theories.
Theories got legs. I hope you're wrong. I hope you're wrong.
Yeah, we all hope that Doug is wrong.
I hope you're wrong.
I hope I'm wrong too.
I hope we open up some regular hobby boxes and we're getting 2 to 3 down. I rather see the fact that they just printed the heck out of the downtowns this year, as opposed to. Oops.
Okay. Well, let's talk about this.
The sorting machine went on the fritz.
Would we be okay if it was just what it used to be, and we were getting 1 downtown per case? Would we be okay with that after seeing the FOTL boxes?
Yeah, I mean, we'd have to be. Well, I have to assume that that's best case scenario at this point.
Yeah.
That hobby, yeah. Okay, yeah. I mean, Yeah, I guess
Okay,
so.
so if you're holding on to first off the line cases, and if that is the case,
Yes.
and it goes back to one
They're
downtown,
gonna be like $10,000 a box.
Yeah, they'd be insane.
You don't hold on on your because you could basically sell that for. I mean, if you're guaranteeing 25 downtowns or something like that,
Yeah.
in a case, you could sell it for the equivalent. You can sell it for probably $125,000.
The boxes are already going crazy because of this, and I'm sure a lot of people have the same idea. It's like, when are you ever going to get a product where you can potentially pull 3 downtowns and other FOTL
I saw somebody
exclusives?
selling spots for
$1,700.
$1,700
In a half case or a full case?
full case.
Full case.
What's the math on that?
I would be what
12 times 17 or
Well,
30,
we did the
32.
math. We did the math earlier in the 8 box that Backyard
That's
did.
54 grand.
8 boxes.
54 grand.
They did
$54,400
8
to
boxes
be
at
exact.
$2,000 a spot.
No, that's more than that. It's times 32.
That's what I did.
Oh, you did? Okay,
Yeah,
man,
1,700 times 32, right?
But then they also gave away about $25,000 to $30,000 in extra buyback cards.
Well, here's
too.
my thing on the flip side, and I will preface this by saying we don't buy first off the line. If we would have known this, we would have bought some. But we don't buy first off the line. For one, we have to pay tax in California for it. Yeah, we could write it off.
Well, I'll
whatever.
tell you right now, if we would have bought it, we would have pre-sold it and would have had no idea, and we would have left all of the money on the table.
But I said the reason why we don't do it is because the guys in Florida don't have to pay tax on it, and we have to. We don't get it fast enough. It comes usually the day of the regular release. It just doesn't seem to move the needle with just the purple stars being the feature.
Yeah, and I mean, if you would have told me that for every case you were going to be getting 25 to 30 downtowns, I would have paid the 10% tax and a little overnight shipping. I had no problem on that, but by the way it's been going with the first off the line, the value is really not there. It's not there for us. It's not there for the consumer. Minus Donruss Optic, the value is there for the consumer. Not now.
But again, maybe it's not when we see Hobby come
Well,
out, and then it's
that's
like,
also, that's also the thing, though. Like, let's say the pack configuration and the box configuration is exactly the same in Hobby.
Yeah.
You're getting 2 to 3 downtowns. How shitty do you feel taking your customers to the cleaner and having them charging them $1,700 for a random team spot when you were just playing on the hype that this was a quality control issue? Yeah. But what if it isn't? Like, how do you handle that? Like, the optics are terrible. Like, you just basically took in $54,000. Good for you, but you just raked your customers.
Yeah. That's why I feel like regardless of what this is, Panini has to say something to assure people that, like everybody who didn't get FOTL, that Friday when they are going to open Hobby, what are we going to expect?
The one I'm thinking, like, beyond all that, what I'm thinking about too, if the Hobby release is the same configuration, God, this destroys the downtown market.
Dave in the chat
Destroys
is
the
saying
downtown
that
market.
people are ripping Hobby right now.
Yeah.
As we speak.
Yeah. I
And
didn't know it's going down.
And they hardly have any downtowns at all. So lots of rookie kings and mythicals. So yeah. So I mean, I this is probably a scenario.
How are people ripping?
Well, that's
because that, I mean, we don't have it. We don't have it in the building.
Yeah. That's a whole other
and we deal direct. We deal with every major distributor. They don't have it yet. So who is getting it and how are they getting it? I don't. Are we positive, or is this just somebody saying?
Right. Yeah.
Like,
well, somebody that's probably close to where it ships from may have got it in a day, and everybody else is kind of waiting, right? So
yeah, it's not, I guess
it
it's not too far fetched to say that some dealers may have it today when it's a release on Friday, because we're probably gonna get our shipment tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm sure it's landed at.
They're on the East Coast. So I mean, that if it's gonna be that's probably who's gonna get it first. So I mean, if there are some still coming out,
it wouldn't land in the East Coast any sooner than it land on the West Coast because they ship out of Dallas.
Yeah, it's gonna say if they're in Houston and breaking, then it's like okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or are people who are holding the first off the line right now are peppering out these conspiracies with the Hobby saying, hey, the hobby, I've seen people rip the hobby and they're not getting anything, to basically be able to capitalize even more on the first off the line hype.
Well, my question is I seen it. I just randomly popped in Little Pullman on Fanatics Live today, and he had one box that didn't have any downtowns, and the next box had 3, and they were all in a row. They were all in 3 consecutive packs, and then it would go to another box. He wouldn't have a downtown. He'd have another box that had 3. Is this consistent with every first off the line case? And that's what I don't know.
Does Panini need? Well, we're gonna say that they should acknowledge it. I'm not in there. I'm not in their shoes. I don't know if like acknowledging it helps anything, but it's gonna be tough to have if it is a quality control issue, and people are ripping $800 to $900 boxes of Donruss Optic Hobby, and nobody is getting the main chase because it was a quality control issue and everything's in FOTL. Panini has to say something, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
They can't just be like, but the thing is, they say something, blood's in the water, and how do they make up for it? Do they do like a pack redemption where they do the sparkle packs, and everybody who has hobby, you basically get a sparkle pack?
Might not be a bad idea.
Yeah, this might be the.
Did I just come up with the solution?
think
I
you
mean,
might have.
but that is a lot of money that they'd be leaving on the table with the sparkle pack.
15-16 replay? Anybody?
I mean, I'm not going to say that we were there, but Doug and I were there in the forefront.
That was a fun time.
In the forefront of it, we were in the trenches of 15-16 replay, which I'd like to rip one right now.
I'd love to rip
Great
one.
Steeds,
I would
man.
love to
I'd love
rip
to
one.
rip some
If
replay.
they freaking Blez ran through the whole allocation. That was
But
left.
they did have some Steph Curry RPAs in there.
And
Yeah,
if
5
anybody
of 'em.
remembers, that was the introduction to Mosaic.
Yeah. There's Panini solution for how bad replay was that they created Mosaic off of that.
Yep.
I think they were
As a
going to
giveaway.
sell that direct, and then they're like, well,
I
we gotta
think
make this right.
I think they were. So they have to acknowledge it. If this is the case and it is a quality control issue and people are just ripping cases of hobby and not getting anything, not getting any downtowns, like sparkle packs for everybody. Yeah.
Oh, Panini.
I mean,
And it might be like a sparkle pack for every 3 UPCs. It's probably not going to be one sparkle pack for one box.
No, absolutely
but do we
not.
think
One sparkle actually probably be one sparkle packs for every case.
Yeah.
do we think that there was do we think like internally they knew about it? Like there is somebody that does like open up. When you make a product, don't you think that you would have like somebody open up a case or like at least open up a box to make sure that this looks
A couple
okay?
boxes.
Yeah, like did they go like, oh, we're screwed?
No, they just. I don't know. I think they just probably placed their faith.
It's just
on
not.
this.
The optic's not going to look good when this was pushed back multiple times.
Right.
Does
like-
anybody know in the chat what the first off the line ended at? Because
1,000.
1,000.
Is that what it was?
That was the bottom.
I mean, if they could, if Panini knew about it, they could just held out and just started doing the Dutch auction now, and it'd probably be like $16,000 a box.
I mean, look, it could also be just this is their like what were the treasure boxes that Topps has been doing in some of
yeah,
these
but
products.
everybody can't get a treasure box.
No, but if they're like, yeah, FOTL, like let's one up them. Let's do treasure boxes on steroids. All FOTL boxes have 25 downtowns. Like it's possible that they're going to come out and say, yeah, this was on purpose.
Unless that's like
I don't know.
unless
And
first
we're
off,
all talking about it in the hobby talking about Panini.
unless first off the line sales have been down, and they're like, okay, we know
But
that.
wouldn't you promote it before it hit the auction? If people knew that there was cases that had 25,
Yeah,
they
I
would
mean-
sell out
Sure.
$2,000.
Yeah,
But maybe they're like now they're going to get that word of mouth of like, oh, now I can't miss the next FOTL.
But the thing is, if they come out with it beforehand,
right. It would
then
be.
you're right. It looks
doesn't
like
make
something
sense.
that was planned out.
Right.
Now it looks like if they had it in mind, now it just looks like it's damage
True.
control.
True.
And it looks like they messed up.
Yeah.
Can we do some quick math on the Purple Stars base card to see how many boxes were made of that? So find out how many subjects are on the base set times by 15.
It's like 30 something, I
Purple
think.
Stars.
Purple Stars.
But Purple Stars would be the entire base, well, and the inserts, I think, too. So
And the
every
inserts, yep.
single, I guess it's safe to say there's
Probably
probably
say there's 300. Say there's 350 cards.
Yeah, so it would be, let's say on average, 15 times, let's just round 400. Let's just say there's 400 because the inserts. 6,000 boxes divided by 12. That means there's 500 cases of that product made. Because Backyard came out and said they only had 10 cases, which I thought was a little light for what they do on that kind of product. It is a pack-heavy product, so maybe they didn't want to buy that much. Because I'm wondering if you're going to start seeing some distributors with it, right? Because then you would, if Panini realized the issue and they know they're going to get their, this is all allegedly. This is all
190, by the way, is what I
had a
only 190.
I could be wrong. You
You
know
have
what?
the
though?
inserts too.
Oh
so.
yeah. Never
I
mind.
had a distributor.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot more than that.
I had a distributor right after the Dutch auction finished. I had a distributor reach out to me that they had some first off the line.
But because what I'm saying is that, like, if you realize that you made a massive error like this, and you know that the value is only going to be in your first off the line product, and you're going to be answering questions and doing whatever you can to make that hobby product right, you're probably going to try to maximize the amount of profit on the first off the line that you know is going to go to $2,000 a box. So you're maybe not going to necessarily sell it all and maybe send it to like some dealers and stuff like that. I'm not saying that happened, but like, did they not know about it? It doesn't seem like they did, or else I think they would have been handled a little differently. But you also don't want
I think if they knew about it, they would have stopped. They would have stopped it. They would have not pushed out first off the line. They would have literally unpacked everything. They've done it before, where they unpack everything and they basically recycle it through and
or this is
repackage
why
it.
the delay happened. They realized that they did put all the downtowns in first off the line, and they had to print more.
I don't know.
Base
Moving it
cards
2 days. 2 days, is that enough time though?
Now, if we see white sparkle, if we see white sparkle downtowns coming out of hobby, that might answer our question. Because they had to figure out what kind of other card to put into the, because they couldn't print the number. So let's just say hypothetically, all the numbered cards are in.
I mean, we're gonna
First off
know.
the line.
We're gonna know come Friday.
Very quick.
All of our answers, all of our questions will be answered rapidly. They'll be very quick. It's gonna be.
You know what? Ideally, like going off what Doug just said, it stays a case hit. You get one per case, but it's a white sparkle downtown. That'll be dope.
I'm honestly. I'm not gonna be happy with a. This is probably the best case scenario, but I'm not gonna be happy with one downtown every case.
I'm only would be happy of it.
Because I'm gonna be like, well, what happened? I think it still needs to be acknowledged. Like, what happened with the first off the line pack out?
I would-
where you're getting 25.
We
Yeah.
need some explanation of
I
like,
would
why
only-
did
Where did those come from?
Right.
I would only be happy if it was a parallel in every single case. If it was a base, then that's terrible. If it's only a base downtown.
Yeah.
Or they knew this happened. They knew it was going to be an FOTL. And the reason why it was delayed even more is that they were like, we needed to print more base.
Yeah, so that you're going to have,
and
maybe
then pack
that's
that out.
because
So-
you normally don't see the white sparkle on a checklist. So that's an interesting indicator of like they're not going to hit any of the numbered cards in the hobby. So what can we do? Well, we were going to plan on putting white sparkle packs out. Just put the white sparkle downtowns in this so that there's value across the board for Chase. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. We're just talking this through, but
What do you mean they don't put the white sparkle on the checklist usually?
it's usually not
It's
on
a-
whatever
it's
he's looking
usually-
at. It
it's
shows
Yeah,
it
it
on
was
there.
the checklist. That was
It would
the
be like
that was on Beckett.
If it came out of a white sparkle pack, it would be a standalone.
You mean like where it tells you all the different parallels?
I mean, it's there. It
That-
says
they,
on.
they-
It says
they
right
put,
there.
They put that there.
But there's never not on. If you go to let's use Prism.
I'm not looking
Prism.
at
You
the-
can't go
yeah.
on Prism checklist and it has white sparkle in there.
No, you're talking about the official checklist.
The official checklist only accompanies the optic and the first off
We're
the line
talking
usually.
the checklist or like the checklist sell sheet.
Whatever Beckett put out, which is also a
Okay.
third party.
Yeah.
But
They are, but they're only getting that from the official.
right, so you don't. I mean, if you go to 2022 optic and see if it says white sparkle
Yeah, we'll double check.
on the checklist, because then that'll tell us.
You're also going to see ultra rare.
And actually, I don't
rare.
even know. Is there a white sparkle downtown out there in the market?
I
That's
couldn't
another
even
question
tell you.
from prior years. Let me
I
look
could
that
not
up on
tell
the
you.
Bay. So,
Well,
Yeah, I'm looking up 2022 right now. Seeing
Friday we'll know.
we will know for sure Friday, but the early returns right now are. It's starting to sound like maybe
Come
there
on.
are some, very few, if none.
Come on, Panini, don't be a meanie.
Yeah, don't be a meanie, Panini.
okay, there is white sparkle.
be a meanie.
They're one of ones. There are 101s.
Okay, so it is there.
But I don't know I don't know where they came out of. I just see them on eBay. So there definitely is some white sparkle downtown.
and it's on the
I have
check.
it.
It's on the checklist.
for 2022.
I got a distributor calling me
It's on
right
the
now.
checklist.
He's like, hey, I got some
Saying,
optic
hey,
FOTL.
you want some FOTL
I got
optic?
some FOTL.
5,000 a
I
box.
got it for you.
$20,000
Take it live. I'm just kidding.
Oh,
You can look with $1,700. There's two. You could either buy a spot in these, or you in one of these FOTL Donruss Optics, or you can get a 48-year-old Twinkie. Either way, so
edible still.
no,
You die.
God no.
I don't know if you die.
You would get really sick if you had a bite of it. Probably you wouldn't feel good. If you ate the whole thing, you probably are going to the hospital.
I got to say, so that was bought by Darren Ravel. And Darren Ravel had probably the most interesting collection of memorabilia pieces at the National.
He's certainly got an interest.
He had a whole thing of DB Cooper stuff. He had the part of the Bills from DB Cooper.
He had like boarding pass, DB Cooper boarding pass.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
that was
crazy.
crazy. And he let us hold this gem. And if your kids are listening, just put your little earmuffs there. He had from 2004. He had Hugh Hefner's Viagra prescription bottle. I don't even know what that's worth. I mean, it could be worth $500,000.
He likes to collect very quirky pieces of history. That's the thing, is he's gonna have things.
That's a great part about collecting.
Yeah, he has these very quirky little pieces of memorabilia in history that nobody. That's why that makes sense. He would, of course, be the guy to get the only Twinkie available on the market, the oldest possible Twinkie on the market. Like, of course, he's that guy.
That's so hilarious. Somebody's like, let me just keep this all these years.
Yeah.
Is it not molding?
I mean, because it's always the joke. Oh, the only thing that'll survive the apocalypse are cockroaches and Twinkies.
Yeah, dude.
But-
If that movie showed us anything, it showed us how important Twinkies are.
Yes.
In an apocalyptic world.
Absolutely.
How much did he
Twinkies.
purchase a Twinkie for?
They did not. It was an undisclosed amount,
Jeez.
but well over $1,000.
Hey, what's the name of the movie I'm talking about? It's like
What was it?
Zombieland.
Zombieland.
Yeah.
Zombieland. Zombieland 2.
I haven't seen
Not
Zombieland
one.
2, but I
One,
remember,
first
with Jesse Eisenberg and
Woody Harrelson,
Yep.
Emma Stone.
Yep.
When he finally finds those
Abigail
Twinkies at the
Breslin.
end.
There it
Yep.
is.
Man, and Bill
Looks
Murray.
good.
And
has
Bill
has
Murray.
a very brief cameo. as a
And
zombie.
somebody
There's a couple people in there, yeah. But yeah, Twinkies.
Rosario Dawson in the second one, I believe.
Oh, she was. I didn't see that.
Trying to see the comments.
Twinkies, yeah, don't eat it. It doesn't look appetizing. Like, it's lost all its color for the most part. It looks like you would be eating like insulate, like micro, like the
What?
insulation in your
But
walls.
what if you're way off? Like, what if it's
What if it's delicious? What if it
it's
actually
the
got
most,
better?
What if it's the most delicious Twinkie?
What if it ages
maybe
like wine?
maybe we find out that like the greatest thing that you can have is a Twinkie that is 70 years old.
Oh,
and then it just becomes like a super high-end
Yeah.
appetizer
It's
or
either-
dessert going forward. Like
these Twinkies have been barrel aged
barrel-aged
for 73
Twinkies.
years.
they've
Only
been,
the finest.
What if you're like, you're, I don't know where he's going to keep this thing, but maybe he
keep
comes,
it in his pantry
comes
like
home
any
from
other
the-
person.
Comes home from the club. I don't know if Darren gets down like that, but he's like a little hungry. It's dark outside. He just grabs it. and
Gotta
there it
have
goes,
something.
You
That's
know.
all I got in the pantry.
Now, also, my other question is if he keeps this another 30 years, will it still be, a matter of things? Will it, or is it going to just start to?
No,
to-
if it's aged for 70 years and it still resembles a Twinkie, I think we can go another 70 years and it
Yeah.
will probably
I think it's
look
30
the same.
years, right?
This is they said 48 years.
48. Okay.
48. So
So
let's-
48. I think if you
Sure.
go another 50, if it's lasted 48 and it's looked this good,
Right.
I think you can go another 50. It'll probably still be
Yeah.
I'm gonna
You
say
know.
he knows. I mean, obviously, if he's gonna buy something like this, he knows how to store it, so it keeps.
Right.
I don't think he was. I mean, I didn't
Keep it
ask him
safe.
if anything was for sale at his booth, but I don't think he was selling anything. I think
It
he
was just there to show
he was
it,
just
show it
showing
off.
It was really cool.
Hey.
I think
Yeah.
he was definitely buying stuff
He was buying weird
Yes.
stuff.
Like
yeah.
Twinkies.
like Twinkies.
It's cool though. I mean,
I mean,
that's outside
if,
the box.
if you bring that Twinkie though, and you really have one person that you can go to who may consider buying it.
He's one of the.
And
He's
he-
one of
and
like
he-
5 in the
And
world.
he's basically the guy at the show where you can basically have a conversation where you're like, "Hey, bro, I got this 50-year-old.
Do I have something for
You don't
got
think the
something
fine
for you.
folks at Hostess would want to buy it back? you know?
Yeah. I bet like a Hostess person and like put it up in like as a kind of a gag of like, yeah, it does last forever.
I bet it was probably found at like an old Hostess, like closed down Hostess bakery. They were like sweeping under, and they're like, "Oh, it's a Twinkie that's been here forever."
I don't know why this.
I got the guy for this.
This just sparked some childhood memories. There used to be a Hostess, like, I don't even know what you'd call it, like a wholesale shop, I guess.
Yeah, it was on.
You know what I'm talking about?
yeah,
On Monterey Road.
Yeah.
Yep. That was the best. And you get them for so cheap.
Yeah,
Cupcakes and
it
Twinkies,
was.
like everything.
Yeah,
and Wonder Bread.
yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
I don't.
We used to go there a lot.
I
as
want
kids.
to. I
It's like a
want to
little special
say
treat.
it was on. There was also one on Meridian in West San Carlos.
Yes.
Y'all had a Hostess store out here?
It was a
Yeah.
Hostess wholesale
It
shop.
was. Yeah, it was like. It was like a.
Bruh, what?
It got whatever the extras that the grocery store couldn't hold. They
Yeah,
went
you would-
there, and you could buy it for dirt cheap.
Yeah,
We
like
had a lot of menu. I mean, because
all the ho-hos,
the
ding
best.
dongs, and snowballs
Yeah.
that like couldn't
Is it
sell.
is it Snowballs, that pink one?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
hated
You guys love
Snowballs.
those?
Oh,
No,
yeah.
nobody likes a snowball.
Snowballs sucked.
How,
The
how,
ding
how
dongs are
have they
good.
survived all these years then?
Ding dongs were good. Well,
People-
because
they
ding
fool
dongs,
People who
ho-hos,
love-
Twinkies.
People who love coconut,
Yeah.
marshmallow.
I do like coconut. I don't know.
And
Yeah, it was gross.
it
They filled it with cream too.
Yeah,
I want to
it's
say.
just a bad pastry, bad dessert.
It
Just
was
a bad. It's a bad vibe.
It tasted like eating shredded paper.
yeah.
Like it was bad. It was really gross.
Yeah, I know there was the Kellogg factory in San Jose because my my wife's grandma worked there, boxing up cereal
Yeah.
and stuff. I
Because
don't think it's around anymore, but
Because wasn't it the Kellogg's make the Eggo waffle, or was that something else? I can't remember.
There was also the. We're just getting. into
Now
weeds
we're
here.
getting breakfast.
There was also the Del Monte factory that was in
That's
San
right.
Jose.
canned fruit.
Getting into deep San Jose.
I just
lore
got my
right
kids
now.
into Pop Tarts. They love them. Probably not a good thing, but it definitely easy in the morning to get
Yeah,
them ready
really
to just
easy.
pop it in the toaster.
Yeah.
I mean you don't even need to toast it. Honestly, you can
We
just
were
eat that
a-
thing out of the silver pack.
We were a Pop Tart family, but our neighbors across the street were toaster strudel family, and I
I
was
like those too.
whoa! And then I had it for the first time. I was so like, "What is this?"
That's the one
Then
you
I had
got
it, like,
you got to put your own frosting on it.
pretty good. Yeah, it's a lot more work.
Suck up the
Yeah,
frosting.
I don't know about the extra
But
work.
They were soft and yummy, and
I
You know what the
think-
worst thing
I
about-
think a Pop Tart cold is better than a Pop Tart warm.
It can
frozen
be.
Pop Tart
Yeah.
can be good.
I
It
don't know about
depends on
fro- I
the
don't know
depends on the
about- I don't
hour
know
of the day. I
about
found out.
frozen though.
I found out that it's weird. I was watching a lot of like hip hop content, like I normally do when I'm working at home, and then I found out that Lil Uzi Vert is a Pop Tart connoisseur. So it depends on the time of the day of like what the best Pop Tart is.
I
Like if
believe
you're
that.
just waking up in the morning or if you're having it in the afternoon, afternoon snack. So
What was that that movie that just came out that was about the Pop Tart?
It was the Jerry Seinfeld Pop Tart. movie.
Yes.
Yeah. I
Where it
watched
was like they were both like trying to go. Both companies were trying to figure out a way to get a pastry that didn't have to be in the refrigerator, and it would just set the world on fire.
Something that was like quick.
That man
It was
can.
like-
Jerry Seinfeld can do whatever he wants. Like he has all the money in the world, and all he's done is that B movie and a Pop Tart movie. It fascinates me.
Yeah, it's just whatever he's
I gotta
into.
say, one of the is it the brown sugar cinnamon Pop Tart?
That's the best one.
Is a high quality tart right there.
Yeah, it's better. It's the strawberry is the OG, but I think
Yeah.
that's the
And then
brown
one-
sugar
The
cinnamon.
brown sugar cinnamon is a classic.
The one if you want to go into full
the strawberry
like,
is the classic one.
diabetic coma, you go the s'more Pop Tart.
Yeah, they have the hot fudge sundae now too.
Greg in the chat with the greatest comment. He opened up some Pop Tarts and got a downtown.
There was 3 in a pack. That's gotta be the spoof video, dude. We got to do that.
Just keep opening
From
everything. You're like, and there's a downtown.
downtown.
Wow.
dude,
Somebody-
we should open some Pop Tarts for like
Shout out to
tomorrow.
Greg.
Somebody needs to get royalties.
Who's
in the
gonna
chat.
say,
who's gonna throw
Greg.
their downtowns in a Pop Tart, dude?
I have some downtowns in a magnetic. Maybe I just put it.
No,
in,
just put them in a top loader, and then we'll just like reseal we'll reseal it, and then we'll just open it up and be like,
That'd
In
be a
between the
great
Pop
video.
Tart.
yeah.
Oh,
I'm giving out too many ideas.
Yeah.
Good thing there's only like 5 people. in
Those
the room.
downtowns, by the way, we had all these cool things for the National. There's apparently a new top loader that Ultra Pro is super proud about. I don't know if you guys even saw that.
No, what is that?
It's a sleeve and top loader in one, essentially.
How does that
It's a
happen?
Sick.
hybrid. Because even their whole thing was, we watch these breakers and they have another person on the side top loading all their stuff, but what if you had this in one and you don't have to do that anymore?
Let me click on your link.
Yeah, go to the link. It's basically it's a little bit of a.
Is it hands-free top loading?
No, it is like combining the sleeve and the top loader in one. It does make it a little thinner and a little flimsier than your normal top loader, but I mean, I'm like, it's kind of cool. Like, especially for like a solo operation, like it makes your life a little easier. I would imagine.
Bro, for Ultra Pro to still innovate at this stage in their company, that's pretty cool.
Exactly. It's interesting. I think I'd be interested to try it out and see how it
And it has
holds.
sticky tape on it.
Yeah, it's got like a little adhesive on the back. So yeah, interesting. We're innovating still.
Guys,
say.
this just speaks to the lazy generation. I can't put the sleeve and
And
then do
then
the
the
top
top
loader.
loader.
It's just that 5 seconds of my time is just too valuable to me.
Room's hot. Room's hot. You got to get in there.
Yeah, the other one that I was going to bring up, the Shine at the National bought that exquisite case that apparently turned out to be
Was resealed.
tampered with.
Yeah.
Yep. But did end up
G.I.
pulling
Joe.
like a crazy Kobe Bryant, LeBron James dual auto.
Which he seemed disappointed.
Not out of that case, though.
Not out of that case. Out of a different one.
yeah,
He
that
was
was out of
disappointed
a
'cause
case that he got from Blowout. I
He
believe.
wanted Jordan. He
Yes.
wanted Jordan, not LeBron. He was disappointed. He just pulled a $300,000 card.
Yeah. Oh,
It's really, you know what? And
has
it's
Kobe
really hard
Bryant's
for
autograph
anybody
on
to
it.
sympathize with a billionaire. So it's,
I think he was
I think
a
there
little
was a
bit
lot.
more.
Serves you right, billionaire.
A little bit more disappointed by his resealed case.
Yeah, that was pretty tough.
Did you see him just
exquisite.
like throw the cards? He was just on his PJ and he was just.
Damn.
Did you guys see the video?
Yeah,
No.
I saw it. I didn't see that part though.
He's all. This is from 2004, and he's like,
Yeah, it was like all just like random, and there's like packs that didn't have the correct amount of like cards, and it was just all different years.
That's
Lord.
yeah. Yikes.
Looks
Was
like we
it
got
was it
duped.
wrapped? Was it BCE wrapped?
I don't know.
No, hope not.
I don't think that. I mean, yeah. That they can't afford another
Looks
one.
like
of
we got
those.
duped.
They
Looks like we
cannot
got.
afford another duping.
Looks like we got duped.
Looks like we all got duped.
Oh, before we let you guys go, we got to talk about the $7 million that Panini got to pay for 50 Cent over the weekend, huh?
What's that? Oh yeah, that's right.
That's how
that might have been it.
justified it.
They knew that the NFLPA deal was going to be coming down the pipeline. So yeah, then an independent arbitrator ruled in favor of Panini, said the NFLPA should not have backed out of the deal, and now NFLPA has to pay $7 million in damages to Panini.
Just $7 million, huh?
I mean, honestly,
Damn, that
it's like,
sounds
wow,
like-
what a
sounds
big
like
thing.
pennies,
But frankly,
actually.
yeah, that is a drop
Yeah,
in the
I mean,
bucket to the
let's-
NFLPA.
Yeah, they're just like.
Yeah.
Oh, hold up. Let
And-
me go to my couch cushions real
and the
quick.
thing
See if I can
is-
pull out $7 million.
The NFLPA knew they were going to get dinged.
Yeah.
Of course they
And
knew.
they probably are honestly like,
They did the math.
we can do $7 million.
Yeah, they did the math and went, that's fine. We'll take the hit.
Yeah.
Whatever. No big deal.
We're not stoked on it, but
No.
Well, yeah, we
Yeah.
get it.
And they saw that nice
So
check
how
from
are they
Fanatics
How are they in violation of the terms? What specifically does it say?
that they backed out early.
They
That's
backed
really
out
the
early,
biggest thing.
and their reasoning was that they lost a lot of senior employees.
Yes.
That because Panini lost senior employees, that basically voided out their continuing contract as an
But
exclusive.
it was because Fanatics was hiring them.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, and that's probably the pathway that Panini took to basically argue that fact.
From Panini's attorney, the unanimous decision of the arbitrators confirms what we've said. The NFLPA's termination of its contract with Panini violated its legal obligation to Panini, its moral obligation to fans and collectors, and its fiduciary duties to its members. The PA's actions cost its members millions of dollars in damages and lost royalties.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and
Millions.
good for Panini. You know, I mean, I can't imagine the company morale around that place. I mean, you know, with what's been going on with half of your staff that you've known and worked with for
it's
10
tough.
years, jumping ship. You know, every time you think you're moving forward, you get kicked down a little farther down the line. You know, you're trying to sign these athletes to compete with Panini to try to finish out at least your contract and maybe look forward beyond your contract, and just these insurmountable objects that are in your way to try to do this, and you know, it's a little small victory for them. So
Yeah, exactly.
but yeah, if you guys, does anybody have any questions in the chats before we leave? Fanatics probably wrote the check, Greg says. Probably.
Let's open it up. Open it up the forum.
Doesn't seem like we have a lot of questions. We will talk a little bit more next week about Fanatics Fest. We may be doing a special Tuesday. Actually, you guys should just do it. I'm leaving Wednesday, so I won't be here for the show, but you guys could do it on Wednesday.
Fanatics Fest preview.
A little Fanatics Fest talk.
Yeah.
We got to discuss.
Jealous.
Maybe we can discuss this. I don't know if people have seen this. I got to get Conrad's opinion on this. Me and Dan were thinking about lighting money on fire.
Greg, I'm glad you mentioned it. Yeah, check for Downtowns and the Happy Meals. Did you guys see this? That McDonald's, what their current Happy Meal promotion is right now?
No.
It's Panini. I feel like no one's talking about it.
What are we getting?
I almost bought one the other day. I almost was like, I was getting some coffee in the morning, and I saw they had Panini Happy Meals. Like, oh, well, it would have been too early anyway because they were still serving breakfast. But I don't know. If anybody in the chat, it's athlete stickers, says Dave. Okay. All right. Well, that makes a little more sense.
Well, because they can still make stickers.
Multi-sport
after.
stickers. Yeah, and so they're kind of going to, kind of works with, Olympics. It kind of looked like that. It looked like they were clearly trying to capitalize on the Olympics, which also makes sense because McDonald's for years and years was such a huge Olympic sponsor, and I don't think they have it anymore.
For the kids, man.
Yeah.
For the kids.
So I'm thinking about doing this, so I'm going to go stand on the corner and beg for some change so I can afford this. But it's the From On Location, which is the site that you can buy Super Bowl tickets on. You can buy all-star events, concert packages. It's a premium experience, right? So you go to the Super Bowl, you get the parties and all that stuff attached to it. Or if you go to a concert, probably is tied into a backstage event, memorabilia type thing. So the Platinum Fanatics Fest experience includes, for the low price of $3,000 per person. Yes, great deal. It's
What
like
a bargain.
McDonald's. You get a special appearance by Michael Rubin in the Premium Lounge. So you get to, you get to see if you can get in the white party. You get 1 3D VIP access to Fanatics Fest New York, 1 pre-event access to Fanatics Fest, $150 fan cash gift card, 1 Topps Chrome Jumbo Box, 1 Premium Platinum gift bag. What's that?
Nice
that?
swag bag.
Reserved seats in the Premium Platinum seating section at the main stage. 4 skip the line passes for official autograph signings, photo ops, and Topps exclusive drops. That's where you might be able to make money. But
To be honest, yeah.
because they're doing the Chrome Big Apple release, right? We've seen that. Topps Chrome Big Apple.
Looks cool. I like it.
Now, will they let me buy 10 of those with those passes? Will I only be able to buy 4? Like, if I buy 10, I might pay for the $3,000 package, right?
Might be
The
waiting in
resale,
line
the
just to
break.
buy them boxes.
Well, no, you get to
lie.
skip the line.
We were
You
joking
get the
that
4
this
skip
was,
the line passes.
We were kind of
So you
joking
use
how
it on
expensive
that.
this was,
Is the
but
box
not
that they
bad.
give you not that Big Apple version?
I don't know. It says Topps Chrome Jumbo Box. 1 credentials to the Premium Lounge with elevated food and hosted bar. So will Jay-Z be there?
Doesn't
Will
tell you if it's free food and free bar. Though.
elevated food.
So it's
Yeah,
hire up. So if
It's
you're
also interesting.
So if you're
It all-
5'1", you may not be able to reach it.
It also sounds like it's elevated to purchase. Like
Right.
you might have to
Right.
still pay for that.
Did
Elevated
this-
pricing.
Yeah.
Elevated pricing.
Instead of beef sliders, is it just like steak sliders?
Wagyu sliders.
Oh, yeah, that's probably what it is.
And then you get 4
Everybody loves that
raffles.
Wagyu beef.
4 raffles to enter to win
It's hoping it's gonna be Pop-Tarts.
premium autograph memorabilia. So I'm
Pop-Tarts
kicking
with
the
Wagyu
tires.
beef.
Like I said, I might have to eat ramen or stand on the corner to see if I can get the change for that. But I'm thinking like that premium platinum gift bag. It is their first show. Are they going to go all out and be like, this is why you want to do it? But it is through online. I don't know. So I'm, it's,
It's weird to me that it's through a third party like On Location. Because they got to be getting a kickback too, right?
Mm-hmm. Almost certainly.
making money.
Money.
But if you if you could buy multiple of the Topps exclusive drops and you're using your 4 fast passes for that, you might be able to pay it in resale. I don't know. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, but I don't know. Could be a complete, utter lighting your money on fire. But we'll preview you guys that a little bit more next week. I'm sure there'll be more data of some of their drops, what they're doing, all that other kind of stuff. But that's all we got for the show today, guys. Optic. Hopefully we get a lot of downtowns on Friday. That's coming out this Friday, so join Mojobreak.com for that, as well as we'll be live on Fanatics Live with that. And still got a little bit of museum left, museum collection. I think we're out of the Olympics, huh? The Olympics just flew off
That
the
stuff was
shelf.
hot.
Over the weekend, I didn't
That
even
stuff was
open
hot.
one box.
Neither did I. Yeah. That's how it happens.
I don't know what it looked like.
It was good. A lot of we had like all the big names that could be in there got pulled pretty.
Except for Simone
regularly.
Biles. They didn't get her.
No Simone Biles, but yeah. Actually, I don't know if they pulled any Katie Ledecky either, which was the other big auto you could get out of.
Santa Clara legend Mark Spitz autograph. In
Yes,
there, though.
Phelps was in there. Tori Husky, who's a big swimming star right now. We got Ledecky, we mentioned. Yeah, a lot of big names.
And they have the Dynasty patches in
Yes,
there
it looked really nice.
as an insert, which I think is cool. So the number to 10 Dynasty patches of Ledecky and some of the other stars. And Steph Curry's in there, not an auto, but as a parallel in the chase. So they finally made Olympics sell. They made Olympics great again. So they were able to figure it out and make a product. Came out at the right time.
Yep.
Had the right names and created a little bit of buzz. So
And Olympics have been good so far. It's been fun.
They have.
Fun watching
They've been great. They've been great.
Yep.
All right. Well, that's all we got. Guys. Follow us on Instagram, Mojobreak_com, as well as Facebook, Twitter, wherever your socials are at. Keep up to date on that, and we'll see you guys next week on The Hype. Peace.
Peace.